who has control over the budget.
Would the legislature call the roll?
Benjamin Vitale,
Present.
Tom Winslow,
Present.
Bob Shay,
Present.
Amy McNabb Coleman. Present. Hans Fetcher,
Here.
Mark Strong.
Here.
Heidi Nightingale is excused. Elaine Daly.
Here.
Amy Sargent.
Present.
Brian Mulgrew.
Present.
Jonathan Ann.
President, please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This evening, I ask if you remember Joanne Polenchny and her family. Josie, as she's referred to, was a clerk in our DSS Medicaid unit since May of 2021. In December, she was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm saddened to report that she lost her battle yesterday, February 23rd. She'll be sadly missed by her DSS family, many of whom are blessed to be called her friends. Please join me in a moment of prayer. Thank you, Maybe Sue. We have a public hearing this evening. 315-294-8051. Wish to speak in the public hearing. A local law to establish a surcharge for ticket sales for admission to Emerson Park Playhouse Theater. Again, that's 315-294-8051. If you wish to speak at a public hearing, we have a call already, so go ahead and answer that.
You've reached the public hearing line. You now have 3 minutes. Hello, can you just state your name?
Ian Phillips.
Thank you. And go ahead. Ian,
This is Ian Phillips. I'm an Auburn resident and a member of the Rev Board. I want to thank the legislators for having a public hearing tonight on this topic. I wanted to give a kind of a quick rundown of the history of the Rev in 3 minutes and some of the discussions that I've had with members of the legislature about this surcharge. So the Rev started as the Office of Theater in 1958. And in 1970, Susan Riker received permission to convert the unused carousel building into a theater. In 1975, the student there became professionalized. In 1982 was the first year we kept records of how many patrons came, and that was 9,000. Today there are over 40,000. In 2000, the legislature passed the lease at the merry-go-round playhouse that said it was not to be expired before 23 years. In section 3 of that, it talks about rent, and it talks about in recognition of the legislature's desire to bring more people to Emerson Park and utilize that beautiful park. It was signing this lease, and it was make payments to the merry-go-round playhouse in addition to maintaining that building. We obviously know that's not the situation that the county is in today. Just for background, over the past 2 years alone, the Rev through capital projects and then just maintenance of the interior of the building, which the Rev has been responsible for, has put in over $3.2 million into that facility. Both in the expansion, but then regular maintenance, including the HVAC system and other repairs when we had a flooding incident not too long ago as well. I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. The Rev and the merry-go-round playhouse are known to be one of the top tourist destinations in the county. About 50% of those 40,000 patrons eat out. About 25% of them engage in retail as they come into our county for shows. And so much of the focus has been on those shows, rightly so, because that's the building that we're talking about. But I think many of you know that we have a significant educational element that operates at a slight loss because we have to keep increasing costs to every single school district in the county and several hundred across upstate New York. We have about 20 full-time staff, and then we bring in 200 seasonal staff annually that live in Auburn and surrounding towns, patronize our building, generating sales tax. As I've expressed to several of you, the arts in general are in a precarious moment, and the Rev is not excluded from that. Every kind of arts organization is on nice edge, but especially professional theaters. Several in neighboring areas like Cayuga and Rochester have gone out of business in certain recent years. And we have increased prices since 2019 on our patron about 58% to deal with increased costs on our end, utility, healthcare costs, union contracts, all of the things that you all have to deal with, we at the Rev deal with as well. We understand that the county has its own financial worries, and even though it's very difficult in this moment for us, we want to continue those lease discussions that we've engaged the county in. And we believe that if we can phase in a surcharge gradually, it will not harm our overall revenue picture, so that we can kind of stay in business, continue to program at Everett Park well into the future. So we look forward to a productive conversation going forward, and hope the legislature is open to those conversations and doesn't impose an arbitrary surcharge going forward that would jeopardize our operations, not only for what we do at the Mary Brown Playhouse, but also our educational programming that happens all across the county. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Eden. Again, we have a public hearing, 315-294-8051. If you wish to speak on the public hearing, a local law to establish a surcharge for ticket sales for admission members in Park Playhouse Theater. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that would like to speak to the public? All right, with that said, I'd like to move on to proclamations. I think what we'll do is I'll skip it for now, and if he shows up, we can do a proclamation later. That said, at this time, we'll just move forward to our presentations. We'll move forward to our presentations, and I'd like to introduce YMCA CEO Scott Sensenball here this evening. Welcome, Scott, and feel free to come to the podium. Welcome to our meeting.
Down and go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Before I start, I just want to introduce a couple of our staff members who are joining me tonight. Laura Clary, who's our Senior Director of Health and Wellness, and Kim Capello, who is our Senior Director of our Early Learning Center and Camp Ayahuasca. What I thought I would do is take the legislature through a little journey of what's happening at the Y, starting with an excerpt from our strategic plan. A few months ago, the board of directors unanimously approved our strategic plan and some of the news that we broke about what's happening with our building at 27 William Street. But I'll start with the genesis of our strategic plan has three legs. The first is a new YMCA. That doesn't necessarily mean building a brand new YMCA somewhere in the county or in Auburn. It means to transform and create a vibrant space for our community. And we've made that decision, and I'll share that with you in a second. Reimagining Camp Ayahuasca is an important part of what we're going to do as well. And we're going to do that in concert with what we're doing with the Lincoln Street building. And then lead in childcare, which is significant in this community. We we live in an area where there's a shortfall of childcare, particularly with infant and toddlers. And the Y is really proud to be able to move forward and help the community with that as well. We really think about our organization in the construct of being the most reliable and impactful community partner in the county. And we do that through all of the services and the facilities that we provide. So right now we have four programming areas at the YMCA. The first is our Early Learning Center. It's at the front end of our building on William Street. We occupy 2.5 floors of the front of the building with about 199 kids a day between our pre-kindergarten, our toddler programs, our before and after school programs. We also do before and after care in our facility, as well as after care and before care in school districts like Port Byron, Moravia, Cato, Weedsport, to name a few. We just picked up Jordan Elbridge as well. And then we run summer care programs, both at the Early Learning Center as well as Camp Ayahuasca, which is the next gem that I want to talk about. 2,100 feet of lake frontage on Owasco Lake. Last year, we had over 700 kids. We served over 3,600 meals at Camp Ayahuasca. We have school districts bringing their kids over the summer to our camp before they get out of school. It's a great facility and a facility that our kids enjoy both in day camp and resident camp. Health and wellness. So we have anywhere from 40 health and wellness group training sessions going at any time during the week at the Auburn YMCA. We do personal training. We have a Live Strong program, which is absolutely fantastic. It is geared towards helping people who are either going through or have gone through cancer treatment regain strength both in body and mind. And it's really inspiring to see. And then we just completed a renovation that I'll share some pictures of in our health and wellness area. It's really the first significant investment that we've made in our health and wellness areas of the Y in quite a long time. And then the fourth area is our aquatics area. We have 2 swimming pools, one built in 1938 when our building was built, and then the other one that was built in 1970. Our pool is home to learn to swim programs for area kids. We are the home swimming pool for the Auburn High School swim team. We have our own swim team, the Stingrays, and we also run the swimming program over the summer at Casey Park. In total, we're approaching 4,000 members at the Auburn YMCA. To put that into context, 10 months ago, when I joined, our membership was around 3,400 members. So the word is getting out in the community about the things that we're doing at the YMCA, and we expect that number to grow exponentially this year. In the future state, we have, as I said, 4 key areas that we focus on right now, but there are other areas that this community needs that we don't offer. And so we're working diligently to bring those to the community. First is youth programming. We just launched or relaunched youth and family programming at the YMCA. It's free of charge for community kids, and we run it on the weekends. We run it during school breaks. It's really, really fantastic. A true community center. So a YMCA like ours has the opportunity to have more of a community feel to it, with a community kitchen and conference area. Fine arts. We don't offer art or music of any kind at the YMCA, other than in our early learning center. We think that's a significant area of opportunity for us as well. And then e-programming. We're going to, we just received a grant to build a multi-purpose, multi-generational room at the YMCA that we will launch our first e-programming area so that we become more than just a place for gym and swim. So just to talk about our transformation and the decision-making, before I joined the Y, the board went through a pretty extensive review of what to do with our building. And that included getting outside resources to help evaluate the building that we're in today, how much it would cost to transform the building, as well as what it would cost for us to go someplace else in the community and build new. It was really clear that the most cost-effective way was for us to renovate the building that we're in today. A lot of consideration was given in terms of the fact that the Auburn YMCA is an essential part of the downtown landscape. And the community that we serve really sits around our YMCA. So relocating it really wasn't a great idea. We decided that we would start with our early learning center. There's a substantial shortfall, as we know, in the community with childcare, especially infant and toddler. And so we have a $1.4 million grant that we have to help us renovate part of our early learning center, which will start somewhere around the summer of 2026. Our plans, our long-term plans will be to renovate 4 full floors of the front of the building, which will take our capacity from 199 kids to over 300. So we made the announcement a few months ago that we decided to stay in our William Street location and focus on transforming the building. It'll take several years for us to accomplish this. We'll do it by writing grants and fundraising and take it piece by piece. The good news about being a downtown YMCA, the building is constructed such that we can renovate certain areas of the building without having to displace members or stop providing services. So we can move things around, said differently, throughout the building. So we really think that the opportunity for us to fund this comes through grants, working with foundations. We have some amazing foundations in Cayuga County that we work with that'll help us fund portions of this transformation. There's a lot of companies in this community that we can lean on and become real partners with to help us fund this. And then fundraising. So we just completed our annual campaign. We raised $125,000 in 2025. In 2024, we raised $75,000. So we do see some traction in fundraising. I think this is part of the transformation that our members are seeing with what we're doing already in the building. Just to share a little bit, I talked about the Early Learning Center being the first part of the transformation. So these are schematics of what the Early Learning Center will look like when we finish 4 complete floors. But it's a 4-floor renovation, taking our capacity from 199 to over 300 kids. We'll expand from 15 to 22 classrooms. Today, we provide care from toddlers all the way up to the pre-kindergarten program with the Auburn School District. We'll have our first ever infant rooms, which is critical in this community. With an older building, it requires some creative design because when you have infants in your building, you have to have direct egress to the outside. So we were able to accomplish that with some work on the design side. Little known fact, but BOCES has a graduation program in the YMCA. They occupy the 3rd floor. With this renovation, they would move to the 4th floor. And then we'll have meeting rooms and flexible space that we can grow from there. So the 4-floor renovation is about $7.5 million. So the 1.4 that we have today will help us get started and add infant rooms to our building. So we are in the mid with, notwithstanding the fact that we're on a bigger journey to transform the total building, we have made investments in the YMCA. We knew that in order to get momentum, both with our members in the community, there were things that we needed to do to freshen up our existing building. And so I'll share with you a few of those. So our early learning center lobby was essentially a vanilla box with a folding table and a plastic tablecloth cover, and it wasn't very attractive. Parents really had no place to come in and stay with their kids before they went into the early learning center. So we built the early learning center lobby. We have a full-time registration desk that's staffed. We enhance, excuse me, the security in the front door. We treat our early learning center like a school in our district would treat security. So a parent comes in, they ring the bell, our registration staff buses them into our building. So really, really easy work for us to do this, but made a significant impact on our parents and our kids. And then we just launched this in February. So again, with the mindset that we treat our early learning center like a school. All the schools in the Auburn district have book vending machines. And so we thought this was a great thing for us to do as well. We funded that through a grant from the Columbian Foundation. Kids earn coins to buy the books for behavior and participation in the early learning center. It's really neat. Toddler playground. This was a bit, toddler playground. This was a big one for us. So as a downtown YMCA, we really don't have green space. So our early learning center kids use the Presbyterian church next to our building to go to the playground. We didn't want toddlers walking outside and then going to the church. And so we found space. It's about 800 square feet of space at the front of our building that we transformed into a toddler playground. So now they just walk out the door from the early learning center into the toddler playground, and they have a safe, fun place to go out and enjoy outside space. We just reopened our fitness center. There are a few members of the YMCA in the room, but this was a long time coming. This was a $350,000 investment. We expanded 600 square feet at the front of the building to be able to make space for all of the new, replaced all of our cardio equipment. Some of that equipment was 20 years old, literally falling apart. We are the first YMCA in this area with a fitness program called eGym, which is a system where the equipment, you scan in front of the equipment and it customizes your workout for you based on your body type, based on what you want to accomplish from your workout. It's incredible. It takes all the thinking out of setting up fitness equipment. So it's really fantastic. The cool thing about this as well is that it integrates with our existing, with the new cardio equipment. So you can go in and work out on eGym and then go to the treadmill and they talk to each other, which is really neat. One of the things that the critics, when we announced that we were going to renovate the Y, said, it's an old building. How are you going to be able to create clean, modern space in a building like that? This is an example of how we can do that. So this was essentially a space that wasn't used on the third floor. It's actually the observation deck from our racquetball courts. And Laura had the idea of building a fitness studio on that floor. And so we did. So this is called the Hub. It is a group fitness center. It's a individual fitness area. This has skiers and sleds and all the modern group fitness implements that one could want in a fitness center. So we're really excited about this as well. It's a not as big of an investment as the cardio room and e-gym, but still pretty significant for our YMCA. Back to e-gym really quick. There are about 2,000 YMCAs in the United States. Only 200 of them have e-gym. We're one of those 200, so we're really proud of that. And then we just opened up a batting cage and indoor golf area where, again, this was so popular that we had to start taking reservations. And to see kids in there with their dads and moms playing, hitting off the tee and getting ready for baseball season. And we have a pitcher's mound in there, and just really fantastic. And that's really it. Thank you.
This time, still the public hearing, 315-294-8051, if you wish to speak to the public hearing on local law to establish a surcharge for ticket sales for each some class theater. I believe you have someone on the line.
Hello, you've reached legislative public queue. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name. Thank you, James. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm calling about the agenda on the rec theater, and wanted to share my thoughts about putting the parking fee onto the ticket, which would not put any undue burden onto the rec theater group. I understand the theater holds about seats about 500 people. Let's say they have 100 shows a year and they sell 250 tickets each show. That would accumulate about $50,000 in a year towards the group for helping maintain that building. And I believe that as meeting with Doug Delastrito, well, I've been talking to these people for about 2 years. They're living rent free. And based on the county's budget, my recent 12.4% tax increase to my property taxes, they kicked that can down the road far enough. The road is now at the dead end, and I would like to see the county legislature add some kind of fee to the ticket, whether it's for parking or just a supplemental fee for building maintenance. It's not uncommon. It's done all the time. Anybody that's gone to a concert or a show in any city, Syracuse, Rochester, or even some of the smaller venues would see this. Sometimes it's spelled right out on the ticket price. Sometimes it is not, but it's built in. The county just spent recently, I want to say it was around $400,000 on the front entrance to the theater. Yes, this county had responsibility for some sidewalks and things. That was quite an extravagant replacement of the front entrance with lighting and so forth. I guess I'm here to encourage that the county legislature put on some kind of fee that in lieu of rent that would generate some income that would be based on the number of performances they can do at the theater. And possibly, be prepared for some upcoming things. We know that the HVAC system is 20 years old. Replacing a unit is probably in the range of $35,000. Who's going to pay for that? We either need to do something now or shut the theater down. And I know that's not a popular thing that anybody would want to do, including myself. But the taxpayers cannot continue to carry the burden on something like this. On a smaller scale, we worked with raising rents on docks because we were competing with local businesses, and we needed to not undermine them. I think the theater, at a minimum, there's a fee, whether you call it a $2 parking fee or a maintenance fee for the building, whatever you call it. Something needs to start as soon as possible. Appreciate your time, and I would vote that I would ask that they vote to do something and not let this get kicked down this can get kicked down the road and for another season. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jim. All right, anybody else for the public hearing? At that time, we're going to continue on with our planning director, Felix Longer, for our county infrastructure grant.
Okay, good evening. Let Amanda get this fired up. Hopefully everyone remembers being here this time last year, talking about the county infrastructure grant program that the state has put out. And then conversations that I've had through various committee meetings and ledge meetings with you all since last fall about a second round. So that's what we're talking about tonight is round 2 of the county infrastructure grant program. You may recall we've got a round 1 award, $1 million from that Park Grove
Thank you.
project for the city of Auburn. So just a reminder, you guys have a handout, so don't worry. You'll get copies of the presentations from each municipality tonight too. So the slide is just a reminder of the eligible uses for the funds and a reminder that counties in New York, outside of New York City, are the only entities eligible to apply for the kind of funding, which is why our municipalities have come forward and asked us to help them apply for this. The big focus I want you guys to remember is the primary objectives of this grant program from the state is it's intended for public infrastructure improvements, water, sewer, roads, stormwater, power, et cetera, that will support the creation of 10 or more new housing units, right? Recall that the maximum award of $1 million is if you're creating 10 or more new housing units. You can only get up to $500,000 if you're creating fewer than 10 housing units or your project doesn't create any housing units at all. There is still a 50% match required of non-EST. All of the project proposals you'll see tonight follow the same pattern, essentially with this match requirement that our project from last year followed. County's not on the hook for the match, the municipality and their developer or who they're working with will provide that. So, project selection. As you may recall, last fall, our department put out a call for projects requesting from all of the municipalities. Anyone had an idea? We got 3 proposals in. The town of Senate, town of Wasco, Village of Leesport all rose their hand and said, yes, please pick me. So tonight you're getting 3 presentations, one from each of those municipalities on the project they would like for you to consider. We have a very tight deadline for making a decision. When I say we, I mean the letters of intent ideally need to be in 4 weeks prior to the application deadline and application to April 1st. This is the same time frame that we had this time last year when we were making this decision as well. So county's responsibilities, as I said, we technically have to submit the letter of intent and the application and act as the applicant on behalf of our municipalities. And we will do high-level grant admin working with ESD and ultimately be the pass-through of reimbursement funds once the project is completed. We have to pay the $250 non-refundable application fee, just like we did last year, and have proof of that payment via wire uploaded with the grant application. However, just like last year, if you pick one of these three municipalities, they have already agreed that they will reimburse the county that $250 application fee. They will also be preparing the materials for the LOI and grant application. I will have a very limited role in just proofreading those quickly to make sure everything talking about the county is correct. All of our accounts, all of our things are correct before it gets submitted, and then take care of actually submitting that. Post-award, our municipalities, just like the city of Auburn is doing, will be doing all of the day-to-day project management, working with their developer or contractors, whoever's put it in the infrastructure. They'll also be required to send me any and all required paperwork for tracking and compiling to be able to get that reimbursement at the end. The chair will have to sign some limited paperwork for the grant application and for reimbursement. Any questions on overall what the grant program is as this refresher?
If you say that you have to have the information submitted 30 days ahead, then the decision of what we're going to be recommending or picking has to be made by what date, Carrie?
Yeah, it needs to be made by the first week of March, ideally.
First week of March.
Per the guidance
Tuesday?
documents from the state, they would like the LOI at least 4 weeks in advance if possible.
Oh, okay.
But we have very little wiggle room in there. So ideally by the first week of March, we need to know if you all want to support one of these applications and which one, so that I can work with the municipality, get that letter of intent in right away, and then they can start working on the application.
I think this might be more directed to the chair as well. We're not meeting, this is our last meeting, so are we gonna be able to discuss this tonight and vote tonight on which one we're going with? Because we'll call it later on, and then we'll notify who gets the award.
And if we need that discussion, we'll have a special.
Yeah, I apologize for the tight timeline, but
No, it's not
I left
that.
the chair in front of everybody know kind of our options are,
Yeah.
make a decision tonight, which is a little bit awkward, but you can do it, or have a special meeting soon to take care of it. Any questions before I turn it over to the town of Senate? I believe it's first up on the agenda, Amanda?
Yes.
I'll be here for questions afterward.
Thanks, Carrie. Hi, folks. My name is Tom Blair. I'm the town supervisor of the town of Senate. If you don't mind, I'm gonna speak over on this side of the room while my colleague Emilio Moran
May 13th.
from the MRB Engineering Group is at the podium. So again, Tom Blair, first of all, I'd like to thank all of you public servants for everything that you do. Thank you for allowing us to speak on behalf of our grant application tonight. We're here to present proposed Water District 8 water project for the town of Senate. We think it's a compelling and important project, not only for the town of Senate, but potentially for the entire eastern side of Cayuga County. In the town of Senate, we have a water line on Route 20 that begins at the Auburn City line, continues down Route 20 heading east to about the halfway point in the town of Senate, Pine Ridge Road. Where it stops. This proposed Water District 8 takes that water line, it extends it from Pine Ridge Road all the way up to County Line Road, the connection point with Onondaga County, town of Skaneateles. Why is this project important? Well, 2 years ago, we had a New York City first of all, there's a lot of housing pressure on this area of the town of Senate, whether it's the former well channel, which is called Baxter, or micron pressure, whatever it may be. We were forced to pass a moratorium on any subdivision, 3 lots or larger, 3 years ago, due to the intense pressure for residential housing starts in this area. In fact, there was a 12-lot subdivision that was in the queue, but had not received approvals yet. And we had to bring the curtain of that moratorium down, and they were not able to pass through there. And the reason we brought the moratorium down This whole area of town, from Pine Ridge Road all the way down Route 20, has side streets called Swamp Road, Mandy Rue, Cary Court, Beach Road. These roads have water quantity and water quality problems. It's been well documented. MRB, who Emilio works for, came out 10 years ago when there was a grant application effort, did a map plan report, tested a bunch of wells. We have problems from sulfur. We have a lot of quantity problems. We went back again 3 years ago and had them refresh their studies. There are significant water quality and water quantity problems throughout this area. Furthermore, so obviously public water would solve these issues. We have already had many public information sessions for proposed Water District 8. Residents came out, all the meetings were well attended. They very strongly supported the creation of a water district. That district has been created. It is Town of Senate Water District number 8. It is exactly that footprint that I laid out. Mr. Moran, in just a moment, will show you the map. So it's that area that I laid out on the eastern side of Senate. Water district's been created. There's a public support for it. There's not funding for it. There's no funding for it. We believe it's a very important project in that there are available lands, which we've targeted through our zoning for development in that area, between 30 and 50 potential lots for housing starts. It's also the hospitality lodging overlay district of the Town of Senate. That eastern side of Senate has multiple, mostly mom and pop commercial buildings, which have given us letters of support for this water district and a commitment that if municipal water is extended to County Line Road, they will renovate in the case of 2 small motels. They will double their size in the case of Skaneateles Suites, which is a lodging facility. We have a commitment they will double their size if there's municipal water. And recently there's an old gift shop, which is in a green building. Many of you may have been in there. It's changed over now. And there are restaurant and other uses which are allowed in that zone that have committed that they will locate there if there's municipal water. So there's a lot of investment that could occur there with regards to commercial. There's potential for significant residential housing starts, as we've been turning those down for a while because of our water problems. And most importantly, to some of you folks on the county legislature, is that we've been in negotiations with the town of Skaneateles for over 5 years, about 5 years now, to do an interconnection between the town of Skaneateles and the town of Senate along Route 20. This interconnection is critically important in times of emergency. Many of you might recall after 9/11, the federal government passed laws that we all need to look to securitize our water sources and wherever possible, have a redundant water source. Those of us that receive water from Owasco Lake are benefited by a wonderfully operated plant through the city of Auburn. Whether it's HABs, whether it's domestic terrorism, you could name whatever really bad scenario might arise. Something happened and the water plant shut down. What do people rely upon? The conversations we've been having with the town of Skaneateles through former supervisor Janet Aaron, current supervisor Chris Legg, together with Julie Abbott Keenan, Aileen McNabb Coleman, Brandon Williams, and now Mr. Mannion's office, are to galvanize some momentum to get these connections in place so that we can flip a switch in times of emergency and backfeed the town of Skaneateles or backfeed Senate and Auburn and other points in Cayuga County. So that's my broad overview. This gentleman, Mr. Moran, is a little more technical than me. So, and at the end, if we have time left, if anybody has questions, I'd be happy to hear them. Emilio?
Yep, thanks, Tom. I know each of us is supposed to keep it brief, but I'll just give a brief overview. If I can move some direction. So here we have this map of the district, which, as Tom said, has been formed. The bond resolutions have been passed. The people have spoken their voices at the public hearings and have expressed their desire for this district. This kind of reddish, pinkish shaded area is the formed district with the water source to the west and then the county line in town of Skaneateles to the east. There are about 110 equivalent dwelling units or AKA housing units in the current district that are existing. The vast majority of them are in desperate need of public water. They have both quality issues, coliform in their wells, heavy metals, other issues, arsenic in their wells, or have plain quantity issues where they can barely draw enough water. So the current district is in desperate need of public water just to sustain themselves there. You can see those in these kind of denser areas. In addition, as Tom said, over the last few years at the planning board level, there have been multiple subdivisions greater than 10 lots each coming, developers wanting to develop within the town of Senate that have been unable to because they just can't find good wells to drill. Right? We don't want them to develop all these houses and not be able to supply these houses with water. So there is a need and desire to develop this area residentially with more than 10 housing units. These are large farm areas. These are large, potentially developable areas that could support much more than 10 housing units. So this does present a very unique opportunity in the eastern part of the county where, as we said, there is a need right now for the residents, for their health and safety to provide public water. There is an opportunity to encourage residential development of more than 10 housing units, as is the minimum. But there's also the hospitality overlay district, which the town board has passed and overlaid here and said in their planning documents, in their town master plan, that they want to prioritize residential, commercial, and other developments here in order to bolster not only the town's economy, but the entire area's economy. So there's so many advantages to getting this project off the ground. As we can see here, general advantages, providing increased water quality in the existing areas, fire protection for homes and businesses, abilities for existing businesses to not just expand, but to survive in the area. The other big thing is a very unique opportunity in the county, along the bordering county, to provide a potential backup water source. Those are very difficult to come by. You can't just pull a backup water source out of nowhere, but it's been clear that our government has wanted us to prioritize that. As briefly into costs, I don't want to bore you guys with numbers. We're estimating roughly $6 million overall project cost. So it is a significant project and significant undertaking. This $1 million to get this off the ground would be massive in making it more affordable to the residents. Ultimately, we need to find grant money to get this off the ground, but the benefits are unique. How many other times are we going to see projects with this much upside where we can provide existing residents opportunities and provide so many opportunities for future residents and future commercial opportunities? Because I don't want to take up too much of your time, we'll skip over the little bit more detailed costs for now. And just overall wrap up with how this impacts housing, right? We've already said have been existing applications that have shown developers want to develop housing in the town of Senate. At least 10 housing units, we would see no problem. We would anticipate that coming in quickly, in addition to commercial expansion as well in the area, providing housing for temporary and permanent workforce expansion in the area as well. So as a whole, we feel this project has so many upsides and has such a unique opportunity for the county, the town, and the entire surrounding area, both for residents and commercial opportunities. So Tom and I are happy to answer any questions.
Questions from members of the board? Mr. Muller.
I think my question's for Tom. You said you had some commitments?
Yes, sir. The Woodbine Group, last year we applied with Claudia Tenney's office, who's our congressional representative for a congressional earmark. So we put together grants and we got a lot of letters of support from different agencies here in the county, but also from private business owners that we think should have a stake in the game. One of those is called the Woodbine Group. Woodbine Group is a hotelier that's, Cedar House Lanes in Skaneateles that's under construction right now, bowling alley. They own the Skaneateles Suites. We have a written letter from them that's in the record as part of the grant application. They have a commitment that they're going to double in size. So they're going to grow their commercial footprint there. We have a new owner of Mr. Mazzio's Green Gift Store who's got a letter of support into us stating that she will redevelop the building and put in an appropriate use there if we can get public water there. I think I can disclose her name. It's our new judge. It's Judge Scholar at the town Senate. She just purchased that building. Both of them small motels you see on Route 20. They've fallen in repair over the years. I've known one of the ownership groups, and the lack of investment in these buildings is of concern to us. I guess one of the problems we've heard about is the lack of water affects them. We've got a commitment from at least one of the owners to substantially renovate the motel on the westernmost motel. The second one we've spoken to, we don't have anything in writing from them yet.
Okay, how's the general public think about this project? I mean, you guys had public hearings, of course, right? So how'd that feedback?
We did. There was a little bit of opposition, like there is with anything. You guys know that. I think we had 3 to 4 property owners that live within this district that are affected that said, hey, I have good well water. Why am I going to pay an assessment? And we totally get that. There was such an outpouring of people with problems, including people that have their kids going to another property to shower, that some of the folks that started out saying, I don't want this, ended up changing their vote because the sob stories were so bad and the smell of phosphorus in the housing and all that. So generally, we already operate 6 water districts. Water districts are not uncommon in Senate. I would say that it's a 85% to 90% pro Water District 8 for those affected households in that district. And this was, by the way, a couple of streets added on that brought the cost of the project down that weren't on there originally. And these residents hand walked petitions and brought them to the town board. And on one street, it was 100% of the street. Beach Road was a little bit less, was around 90% of the residents.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I love the fact you're, local businesses and
Thank you, sir.
I'm hoping this question makes sense, but Water District has been created, but you do need more grants to make this affordable. Is that so will there be a required vote or anything that has to happen to move forward so that people have an opportunity to say, I don't want to pay this much? I mean, if you got grants and this particular grant, there's no questions that this could move forward without any more public approval?
We need more money than just this grant.
Exactly.
We've applied, we're refashioning a WIA grant, NRBC, congressional earmarks. We're looking at all these areas, unless we hit, an 80% mark with regards to grant monies. This is probably not a feasible project. So we need, but I believe that having this grant, if there's a commitment from the county, it shows the other state agencies quite a bit and that this has got momentum. And because the district's already formed, we are shovel ready. All the votes have been taken, lawyers and engineers and bond counsel already hired. It's just a financial piece.
Tom, that was my question. And forgive me if I don't speak, but I see $2,700 right now for an EDU's annual charge. That's without the water. You estimate $3,310 with the water. I believe, and maybe I'm mistaken, but is that up for a comptroller review as well, which you probably need more funding because it's upon these EDUs, it won't make the comptroller's requirements and that part not able to be instituted?
That's correct. Our attorneys are ready to send that to comptroller review. In fact, the district's already at the comptroller's office. Whether or not they make an exception as to the numbers that we're producing right now is going to be up to the comptroller's office. And I know there's a big lag right now too with getting these reviewed, but having additional monies to bring the cost per EDU down to.
That's why you said you need the 80%. I'm assuming you're looking at USDA and some membership funding and the programs that are out there as well.
That's correct.
To add to that briefly, the target which was presented to the residents during the public hearings was at a 60% grant rate, in which they said we can get to this funds. That was where people were really behind it.
And what was the ADU at 60%?
17. I don't remember off the top of my head. It was around 1,700. I could get back to you on that first thing though.
Anybody else with questions? Mr. Winston?
Yeah, so in reality, what you had stated, there's more funding that needs to be secured to make this project become to fruition.
Yes, sir.
That's Mr. Paul.
So obviously you understand that there's two other townships applying for this grant. What happens if you're not selected? What happens to this district, water district?
It'll be a struggle. We'll still apply for WIA. We'll still apply. We'll work with the USDA. We'll look for rural water money. We're still out there scratching. We're hoping to put private money together from these folks that own these private businesses. I've asked them to put their money where their mouth is, and I think we'll have a little commitment from them. That's why I say my overall target is 80%, because I'm also looking for earmarks. All of our public information is at 60%, where the citizens would do it and they'll pay the money at 60%. We're trying to go a little further than that. If we can't, but we can raise that 60%, the project will happen, and it'll be a game changer on that end of it.
I like the project, but one of my concerns, and I'll vocalize, is that once you award the grant, award this project, if the project doesn't take place without funding, we can't repurpose that grant. Because once we assign it, it sticks to that project. That's just a little concern of mine, but I'm willing to look at it.
This is our second year up to the plate. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna make it happen.
No, it's a great project.
We really don't have a choice with all the water issues that these residents are having.
Right. No, it's a great project. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Anybody else? So I mean, thank you.
Yep.
Not a lot, so.
Sure. Mr. Wagner, welcome. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Blair.
I'm gonna see.
No, it's, nope, right here. Yes.
There we go. Yes.
This one's quicker. Yeah.
Good evening, Chair and legislators. Here tonight, my name is Emmett Wagner. I am providing the Wasco. And I have a exciting project, the Wasco Gateway Project. I would like to talk about that's very important to our community. The Gateway Project encompasses all of the Gateway Project encompasses all of Route 38A along the east side of Owasco Lake. The project I want to talk about tonight is a 250-acre parcel that was purchased by local developers who are here tonight now. This project includes up to 1,000 new housing units that's shovel ready to go. The housing units would include affordable single-family housing, townhouses, and senior housing, all of which is in high demand, not only in Owasco, but also in Cayuga County. Back in 2023, Owasco was with the purchase of this property to put in recreational center, walking trails. We had public hearings for that. During that public hearing, we had residents who were concerned about a tax base. That property is in Owasco, the highest parcel taxed in Cayuga County, in our town. To lose that, people were concerned. People thought there were, even though recreation is an important part of our town, they thought affordable housing and increasing our tax base was more important. And that's why we're here tonight. The conversation at this point led me to contact other developers in the area. Tonight, the Gateway Development Team, which we want to call it, is Joe Bartolotta and William Gilberti over here, and they're going to come up in a few seconds and say a few words and go over the project. Some of the pictures up here is of Emerson Park, and going toward the east side of the lake is where the parcel is located at the old country. But right now it's highlighted in the area, and you can see Route 38A running along the the east side of the lake. This, with our infrastructure improvement, not only will help this development that's ready, shovel ready to go, that could potentially reach 1,000 new units, but also expand down Route 38A. There's plenty of open space, open houses that people have already addressed that they want to expand into that. So 1,000, a few more zeros than 10. So we're looking forward to this project. Right now, the Westlake Art Conservancy purchased the property in 2003. They spent millions of dollars renovating that building, and they're operational at this point right now. So that's a big investment for a state-of-the-art art preservation site. This gateway project itself aligns directly with the goals outlined in our town's comprehensive plan that we put in place in 2016. This is not a new idea. It's a coordination of a long-term planning, which is very important. We've been working on this for over 12 years right now to expand our capabilities of to grow housing. To support reasonable growth, the town of Owasco has invested approximately $20 million in the last 10 years. Currently, we are working on sewer and water separation, stormwater separation in the avenue on 3 Avenue streets. This $6 million grant was possible because we received a $2.5 million member item grant from John Capco when he was here. We were awarded that grant 4 years ago, and it took them 3 years to even get that money released. So we know how important that when you're promised member item grants, it's not an overnight situation to go through the process. It took many, many years. So we have developers who are ready. Our town has made commitments to this project, and we're looking forward to going forward. The reason for that $6 million project was to correct our combined sewer system with water and storm. By separating those two things out, we are going to save annually over $100,000 a year in infiltration of clean water being sent to the city of Auburn to treat clean water. Some of the additional projects that we had worked on, many of you know that we did water main replacements. It's not a really great fun thing to talk about, but we put water lines on Owasco Road, Oak Ridge Road, Melrose Road. We put a new water tower up on Town Line Road. We put a new sewer main in behind the Owasco River for capacity. We also installed 180 grinder pumps along from Burtis Point to Coning Point to get people off septic and put them into sewer for the quality of life. Many of you know that I serve on many water quality programs. I'm the chair of the Owasco Lake Watershed Management Council. I'm also, work with Carl at the Water and Sewer Authority. So I chair many other and work with many other water quality projects. These improvements were not by accident; they were by design, and we've been working this again for over 10 years. The award of the $1 million grant for the town of Owasco would direct those funds to critical infrastructure to improve East Lake Road and Bevier Road. It would also upgrade our sewer and possible water tank enhancement, putting in new infrastructure for that. So the town of Owasco takes housing and sustainability seriously. In 2015, we adopted a climate action plan. We are the only county that is a climate smart community. We also recognized by Tree City USA, and we also just became last fall became a designated pro housing community. So we are a pro housing community. We're all ready to apply for more funding for this development. As of this morning, thanks to a phone call from our local paper, we received $250,000 grant from the state of New York for pro-housing community. So we did receive that grant this morning to help us, it's called a TAG grant for technical assistance. So we're going to receive that grant shortly to help us identify any shortfalls that we may have, not only in water, sewer, but electricity and road work. So we have been, again, working at this for many, many years, and now we have partners, Mr. Billy Gaberti and Joe Bartolotta. If you want to come up and say a few words and talk about our project.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you, Supervisor Wagner, for that introduction. Good evening, Chairman Anna and members of the legislature. Many of you probably already know I'm Joe Bartolotta, homegrown here in Cayuga County, born and raised. Now I'm currently raising my family in Auburn, New York, and conduct business in Auburn, New York. So this community means a great deal to me, and I'm really excited here tonight to introduce you and give you a glimpse of the possibilities and potentials of the Gateway project. So the Gateway project location is located on the northeast side of Wasco Lake. It's approximately 250 acres of beautiful mature trees, wetlands, and incredible lake views from some of the high points in the northern section of the property. And it's just the kind of setting for a thoughtful, high quality development like the ones that Mr. Wagner just described. So we put together a team for this development, and the team is made up of three members. Some of you may know my family and I, and some of the projects that we've done here in Cayuga County over the course of the last few years. Some of which Logan Park Lofts, say gut rehab of an old piano factory into 36 luxury loft apartments. We've also done entire city square blocks in Auburn, including the State Street block that's become somewhat of the entertainment center of Auburn, anchored by Prison City Brew Pub on one end and A.T. Wally's on the other. It's been a very successful project, and we're proud of it. We've also done blocks of John Street connecting Arterial East and Genesee Street, as well as the entire block of Genesee Street between Seminary and John Street. And so we put approximately a couple of hundred units into service in the last 10 years. Second member of our team is here with me tonight, Bill Gilberti. He is a founder of Gilberti, Stinziano, Heinz & Smith, cornerstone environmental and zoning and land use attorney here in town in Onondaga County. He's a developer of his own right as well, developed many projects in Onondaga County, and also serves a key role in counseling Onondaga County with regard to progress with Micron, and continues to do so moving forward with that project. Herbert Brewer Construction is the third party that is part of this development team. They're a sixth generation developer out of Onondaga County, the largest family-owned construction company in the region. And they've done numerous commercial and residential developments. They own and manage over 700 units and have another several hundred units in the queue as we speak. So very sophisticated group of developers. The vision, see if I can get to the right slide here. So the vision for the property is a true mixed-use neighborhood. It would consist of single-family homes, townhomes, multifamily home residence, and senior housing, all of which are in great demand right now in our county and really throughout New York State. Of course, the level of development that we can bring to fruition there will depend in large part upon the infrastructure that's available to the community. And that's one of the reasons we're here today. But given the sheer size of the property, it could easily accommodate several hundred to over 1,000 units, as Supervisor Wagner said earlier. And that's with preserving green space and natural features of the property, which make it so beautiful. So the development team engaged a premier planning and design firm called Keith Perkins Eastman. They're New York City based, and they do development all over the world. The team has, so that planning and development company has given us 3 conceptual layouts for the property. It's in its infancy stages. In reviewing the 3 options, the development team has honed in on the 3rd of the 3 layouts, which would have single-family homes clustered in the Bevier Road section of the property, southernmost point of the property. Senior living would be up at the northern end of the property, and the topography grows, it inclines as you go north. And so you get some beautiful views of the lake from the northern end of the property. And then townhomes would be dispersed along the eastern edge of the property, overlooking the wetlands. There's approximately 30 to 40 acres of wetlands that have some beautiful vistas. And they would create a natural transition between the senior living and the single family homes. And now what we've got is a few examples of representative types of developments that we are envisioning for the property. As you'll see, the first slide here is single family homes and townhouses. The second slide is multifamily and amenities that would complement those buildings. The third slide is adult senior living communities. And the last slide would be public spaces and neighborhood services that service the neighborhood that would be created. This would ultimately become a neighborhood within a neighborhood. It's that much property. And all of these illustrations are meant to just go to the quality and character of what we have in mind, not the final design plans. So ultimately, this is about realizing the true potential of this property, which is really endless. It would be a well-planned benefit to the community, but it all hinges on infrastructure and the level of development that we're able to bring to fruition there is dependent wholly on the level of services that we can bring to bear on that property. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm going to introduce my partner, Bill Gilberti, to say a couple of words.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. As Joe mentioned, my name is William Gilberti. I am a developer and actually a proud owner of civil development in central New York. By trade, for the last 45 years, I've been a development attorney, an environmental attorney, handling development projects all over the state and all over the Northeast. So on many occasions, I've had to put myself in the position of where you folks are today, preparing for public municipal bodies, towns and counties, et cetera. And I think what I wanted to make sure that everybody's really focused on is that I don't see ourselves in competition with Senate or Weedsport as I'm here tonight. I know both municipalities. I've lived for the last 40 years with my family in the town of Spafford. We view Auburn as our city, even though we live in town in the westernmost part of Onondaga County. But I know Senate very well. I know Weedsport, certainly we know Owasco very well. We don't see it as a competition. They all have merit. They're all great municipalities. But I think what we would ask the county legislature to focus on is the task you're called upon. We're part of my life, as Joe mentioned, and I'm not here speaking on behalf of our county executive on that county, but I happen to be his lead counsel on the Micron project, and my team has been lead for the last number of years. I've been traveling the world with him as we've attracted Micron and now are trying to attract 40 or more supply chain companies. In that work, we've had the Biden administration with us who was responsible for the CHIPS Act that made the Micron project possible and feasible in central New York. And the Trump administration has continued that support. What we've come to realize is that there is going to be, as the White House, the Biden White House Secretary of Commerce who travels with us stated, that there's going to be something where it's between 35 to 45,000 direct jobs created by the Micron project and substantially more ancillary jobs. We also have that combining now with the Route 81 project, which is the largest, second largest infrastructure project having in the United States. There is, by anybody's guess, going to be anywhere from 10 to 15,000 construction workers alone living in central New York for the next generation, raising their families here. Just construction workers do, because Micron, many of you may or may not know, is about an 18-year build out before it's finally completed. When Micron is completed, we will be, central New York will be the host to about 55% of the world's leading edge chips. So what does this all mean to you? So what's happened is, because of this is what's going on, we're living a generational opportunity. I, at the nice young age of 73 years old, why am I still doing this? Because I have seen for all these years I've lived in central New York, our biggest export has been our children and grandchildren. And it's really upsetting, I'm sure, to all of us. We raise them here in central New York. It's beautiful to raise our family. It's a great place to live, but there's no opportunities once they move off and go to college and get educated. You want them to return home. So we all want them to return home. So now we have this generational opportunity occurring in central New York, not just as I know Chairman Annam met with me and the county executive knows, not just in Onondaga County, but for all of central New York. There will be this wave of opportunity occurring. So the state sees it, the federal government sees it. So these programs are coming down the line. They're coming down the line to create housing, much needed housing. There will be a surge of a need of housing. You've heard about it, and it's there now, it's coming now. That's why these programs are coming online. The $250,000 grant, the $1 million grant program, which is the second time you're looking at it, you folks know yourself. This is the second wave of that, and there will be more others coming down the line as well. So this particular program is geared towards, as your representative who introduced us all tonight mentioned, it's geared directly towards the creation of housing. Is the monies you're about to grant, to select as your project, geared directly towards the creation of housing? And that, I think, is the focus that I would ask you to keep in mind tonight. Not the merits of any particular project that's before you, which is better. They're all great. They're all in need. But this particular program for success. So then when you look at that, you begin to look at the slides and the program we put before you. I personally believe that the site that we own is probably one of the most premier sites in the Finger Lake region. And I ask you all to just think about, what site do you know of that sits atop one of the most beautiful Finger Lakes in all of the Finger Lake region, that became available, that was previously a golf course, that has the most mature, beautiful vegetation segregated on it, so it's a golf course, not having to be totally cleared for housing itself, but some recreational housing project that can be built around what is probably millions of dollars of investment in landscaping on this golf course. The supervisor approached us knowing we owned it because they've been working on what they call the Gateway Project. I think we're just kind of conjoining terms here. I think the Gateway Project to the town of Owasco, not speaking for the supervisor, is all of 38A becoming a developed area, taking this surge of economic activity into consideration. And why is that so important to you as the legislature, to the towns around you? Because even tonight's first public hearing is about the economic tensions on government and the costs on government. Well, economic activity will surge with the housing. It will bring people, it will bring culture, it will bring venues. They will spend money. You'll have real estate taxes, you'll have sales taxes. the orders of magnitudes of the studies, when you start counting the number of residents that will come, it is incredible to your revenue that you'll be receiving in your county. So with that in mind, this program is before you. Select a project that will encourage housing in a significant way. That's what, so when the state, I ask you to keep this in mind. When the state reviewers are looking at the applications, what's going to rise in their mind? I will tell you what I know is going to rise in their mind, having worked for 45 years with them around the state and in other states. Is this project got merit? Does the project have merit? Is it going to succeed? And what I don't know how you can look at Owasco Lake, one of the most beautiful bodies of water in the world, a site that sits atop it, that's available for immediate construction. We have retained, as Mr. Bartolota said, probably the premier design firm in the United States or North America, Perkins Eastman. You can look at their resume that does all residential all around the world. And they have designed what could be possible if the infrastructure is available. It could go up anywhere from several hundred to over 1,000 living units on this one site, which this town supervisor and my partner Joe is referring to as the Gateway Project site, because it's the first site that you start out on New York State 38A. I'd ask you all know the area. Close your eyes and think about going from Route 20 at the top of Skinny Atlas down 41 to Homer. You'll go down a route that all on the other side of the lake, it's all developed, it's all residential. That I believe what the supervisor is thinking, that could be the opportunity for his county and his town, and for all the benefit of every town and all the citizens of this county, that kind of development could occur, and this could be the spur of it. So he approached us, asked us what we were going to do. We happened to acquire this site from the West Lake Art Conservation Center. Great organization, if you don't know them, world renowned in art restoration. And I mean world renowned. I always say to people, if the Mona Lisa had an issue, it would go to the West Lake Art Conservation Center. They needed funds to be able to restore and build their new facility. They looked to us. They know we were developers. We bought all the property surrounding them except for 7 acres and what they have now restored into their facility. The supervisor asked us to think about what we would do with it and expedite that. We've got Perkins Eastman, and before you have plans, several plans that could turn into this. It's the field of dreams. Build it and they will come. If we are able to secure a grant like this, or the town is able to secure through the county's efforts a grant like this, and the infrastructure is put in place, we are ready to go. You know who we are. You can look into our background. You can look at what we've built to date. We've built thousands of units to date. We have the resources, the capacity, the experience, and the capability to do it. And we will be proud to do it here. Thank you very much.
Questions?
I just, are we talking about Auburn Golf Course?
Yes.
Yes.
That's really the property that you purchased.
Yes.
That was the former Auburn Golf Course.
Yes.
That was, when you purchased it, it was your vision to have that property to develop?
Yes.
I guess my concerns are that, you're talking about 1,000, units, places to live. You're talking about at a minimum of probably 2,000 plus people. My concerns are the impact of that many people to the lake itself, the water, the traffic, the congestion that, 2,000 plus people are going to put in this area. This is a rural community. I feel like, the watershed itself, the wetlands, the farmlands around this area, around that particular golf course or former golf course, would be stressed. And I hope that those issues are definitely on the minds and in the concerns of the residents of this area. Thank you.
Mr. Mulder.
Yeah, how, like, if you don't get this $1 million, how likely are you to complete the project? How much grant funding will you need to complete the project?
Well, the monies are really available to the county and then to the town. we as developers can only build for what resources are available in terms of infrastructure to the site. And right now, there's not significant amount of infrastructure available to the site. And while we would have resources that certainly extended onto our property or that we own, we certainly can't go out and build the public resources that a municipality has to. So if the infrastructure is not there, then there would not be that much construction that really occur under what kind of infrastructure already exists at this time. So, and we have the same environmental concerns. We are, environmental stewards ourselves, as the one gentleman said at the end of the table. I would bring to mind that Skaneateles has already gone down this road. And I think Cornell ranked Skaneateles the third cleanest body of water in the world about 18 years ago, and it still is. So it has seen substantial construction. If done in the right way, I believe that it will be allow Wasco to be as clean as it is today, or if not cleaner.
Anybody else? I have one more question. The rent that's gonna be there, ownership, you figure that to be mild to high. It's not a bad thing. I think it's gonna bring us some good income people to this community. So is it?
The demographics you're asking
Yeah,
about?
the demographic as far as the residents.
Again, depending on the level of infrastructure we have, would depend on what we build. But if you look at Martin Point across the street, if you look at Woodlands across Beverly Road, you'll see the kind of housing that was built there and was marketable. We personally believe that there is a great need for housing for young families. That it's impossible as a young family to move to the Finger Lake region with your children and raise your family. And so we would like to see a good sized significant area be developed and affordable for young families to move in to the town. We also believe there is a significant need for, I don't know if you call it senior housing, we call it 55 and older, we call it the empty nester. It's that kind of nomenclature where people are downsizing, people are looking for smaller units to live in. So we think that's in significant demand as well. The last thing we have on our mind is building anything substantial, the that's not really, if there's any of that, that's not a major piece of what is in our mind currently. Everything changes depending on what happens with the kind of infrastructure you have available, and therefore what it costs you to begin to develop the property. So right now, from our perspective, depending on what the government does and gets infrastructure available down 38A, gives us the opportunity to do what it can. When we say up to 1,000 units, we're saying, what is the potential for this site? It could be several hundred at the end of the day, that's it. Certainly it's a 200-acre site. We're preserving all the wetlands that are on the site. We would never touch the wetlands. The wetlands won't be touched. That's about 50 acres of 40 to 50 acres of the site. We'd be developing about the other 200 acres that is all developed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you described it like a town within a town. There's a lot there. So if you had, what would be the minimal amount that you build? So you're talking about like how much infrastructure you have. Would it just be the housing? Would it be the housing in the park? What would be the smallest version, I guess, of the project?
Again, depending on the level of infrastructure, we probably would start out with multifamily for young families and senior living. And then we would go from there. When you see the broader plans, if you look, I can tell you this, that there is interest in Central New York right now from the largest developers in America, the developers that have built out Dallas and San Antonio, and because
They see it.
Central New York, the Finger Lake region, is now probably one of the top 10 hottest real estate markets in the country to do development in. So everybody's looking at what they call lifestyle development. The younger generations want to work, eat, live, and recreate on the same site. So they want to have their condo or apartment. They want to be able to recreate outside. Mm-hmm. They want to be able to have little restaurants or their little healthcare facility or their gym and things of that nature. So the bigger plans would be what they call a lot of residential and soft commercial built within it. So it becomes like a community in and of itself.
It's gonna, I'll point out one thing too. The reason for the street projects that we've been doing was to build capacity. We run about 30% at full capacity on a normal day. But when it's a wet weather event, that's why we're reducing our infiltrations to allow more capacity. And when we did our sewer interceptor along the Wasco outlet for tens of millions of dollars, we took it into consideration and we upsized that so that we could get capacity down the road for expansion. So again, they're gonna build, it's just a matter of how much depends on it. And we've already identified a couple of bottlenecks that if we can really have them, we'll be able to increase our capacity and put these in and protect the wetlands. And Wasco has one of the strictest building codes for protection of the Wasco Lake.
Mr. Wagner, while you're there, if I can ask a question. It's my understanding that these funds are going to be used to provide infrastructure leading to the property line or just inside the property line so that the developer may continue to build off of that. Is that correct?
But it not only will the woodlands across the street from Beggars, we're at minimum pressure right now for that parcel there. So it would be to loop that down, increase the pressure to the existing residents that would benefit them as well. And then also allow water to run by the Bevier Road project to allow these people to hook up immediately.
My second question to that, my follow-up, and I have another question after that for the developers, but what do you forecast? What's your estimate of cost for that entire infrastructure project? It's probably more than $1 million, correct?
Oh, yeah, well, we have to have a matching fund. We're gonna put $1 million in right away. So in order for us to do it,
I mean, is that satisfied? Is that going to be for him or is there?
oh, yeah, I think it would because we've been working on this already and we've already put in for other grants and we were denied. We had grants, we were denied other processes. The competitiveness for those grants is very, very tough to get those things, even though we were able to secure them before. But I think that we'll be able to secure that funding, increase what we need to do, allow them to have the capacity, at least initially, to get started and to put in a lot of housing.
This is the combination question. I think Legislator Sergeant Mulder referred to this earlier, but I'm assuming you're going to do this in phases. So what would be like the first phase that you're looking to complete?
I think, again, to get the.
Well, if you get this grant.
You get the infrastructure along Bevier Road and along Martin Point where it shrinks. We'll get that rehabbed right away and then trying to get more water to that area up there. So it'll help the people who don't have water right now as well. So there's a lot of houses along Bevier Road that don't have water and it could potentially open up more sites for housing as well. So.
No, I guess I was just to piggyback off what Mark said. You're going to start, if you get awarded this $1 million of infrastructure, you're going to put that infrastructure in and build for that capacity.
Correct.
And then in the future, you may expand out to all of these plans, but initially you'll start with what the infrastructure money
That's
can
what the
afford.
grant's used for, is to
Yes.
promote housing.
I'm sitting here thinking, what does $1
Yes.
million of infrastructure get you?
Well, fortunately, we already did $20 million of infrastructure improvements. Now we identified stuff that we didn't get to before. And again, it's going to increase our tax base, it's going to increase the sales tax revenue for Owasco, and it's going to be beneficial for not only the county, but for the Owasco, but the whole county. So this is not just a Owasco project, it's a county project. It's going to generate a lot of revenue for everybody.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So pleasant. No, let's go for that.
I said, I'm way up.
You're way up. I was really counting on your reception here.
Yeah, got it tonight.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Everybody else?
Here's Weeds.
Good evening. My name is Chad Platten. I'm the mayor for the village of Weedsport. This is Jackson Lasarto. He is, works with us, Saratoga Associates. I've come to speak to you all. I'll try to be brief. My day job makes me talk a lot, but, as a teacher, but I'm gonna try to be a little bit more responsible than sometimes in school. So I come to you all tonight to talk about our water improvement project. So we started working on our water system, planning on looking at what we need to do to bring it up to specs. This has been a multi-year project. We're looking for funding. We have, I want to quickly take a second to talk about where we fit into the whole project. So we have, I can go back to that first. Sorry. So we have, the whole point of one of our projects is to make more housing in the village. We are a village of 1,800. The population has, like many communities in the area, has been dropping, but as of late, if you've driven through the village, you've noticed we're changing things around. There's been a lot of development in the recent past. And so we're trying to help all of our downtown to bring it up to the needed requirements for future and positive growth within the community. So the whole point of the CGIP is to make more housing. Our water project is definitely fulfilling that need because we have our water project is going to definitely be adding 10 plus units to the community. A lot of it has to do with converting existing buildings within the community into apartments that are second story apartments in downtown. If you've been in the village, you've seen there are already some that's already been happening. But then on top of that, we have more property owners that are looking to upgrade their buildings to allow for more growth within the village. Where are we running into problems? Our water system is old. So we are in the process of, initial proposal was to replace 80% of the water lines within the village. If I remember the number correctly, that's about 9 miles worth of water lines. We have 4-inch water mains from 1896. The proverbial can has been kicked down the road for a long, long time. And we decided a few years ago, we couldn't let it go any further. Between the 4-inch cast iron mains, this material that was put in back in the 70s called Permastrand, which is a fiberglass water line, breaking valves, corroding facilities. Our system is failing and is not meeting the needs of our community. One of the big issues that we run into is fire flow. As you all probably heard, we had 2 fires within 12 hours a couple of weeks ago. And in between the 2 fires, our DPW was in the process of fixing a water break. It was a big concern. Did we have enough water to fight these fires because our system is so antiquated and in rough shape because of it. One of the big things that we need is on these second floor new residential units, they need sprinklers. New code requires sprinkler systems in these buildings. The existing flow rates that we have just aren't going to cut it. So we really need to upgrade our infrastructure to meet that demand, meet that expectation. So what does our project encompass? We're replacing these water lanes throughout the village, the upgrading of our water storage tank, increasing the ability to remove contaminants from the water system, putting in new valves all throughout the village. These upgrades will allow us to not only meet the needs of our current residents, but also allow us to expand the population within. Beachport is the largest village within the county. Even though, I still think of it as kind of a little village, we're the biggest. We think with these upgrades, we're gonna only can get bigger. As you all know, X40 on the thruway is right to the north of us, and it is a 32-minute drive to Micron. We're definitely going to catch some growth from that. Town of Wasco is looking to catch some of that growth as well. Same with Senate. And so we're all looking at what's going to be coming down the pipeline, and we want to be ready for it. So we already have investors or property owners investing in our village. They are upgrading their properties. They're converting buildings into apartments that have been, derelict and ignored for many years, but that trend has reversed. The other big component is, we already have our core of businesses within our downtown. I just recently did a count. I don't remember the number. I'm gonna mess it up, but I know there's at least 50 different businesses just within our downtown that are supported by our infrastructure. And if we can't get to the water, we can't do what we need to do to help them be successful. Obviously, being a gateway to the Finger Lakes and gateway to the county, we want to put our best foot forward. And so tourism is a big focus for us, and we want to be able to offer not only more housing, but more opportunities for the people that live in our community. So the businesses that are going to be taking over these downtown buildings, they want to do mixed use on all these buildings. So it's commercial downstairs, it's residential upstairs. So, this project that we're doing is only going to allow us to be able to make it better. We have a lot of support in the community. The first time we met with the community regarding our water project, everybody said, when is it going to start? They didn't complain that, we don't need this, everything's fine. They said, when is it going to get started? We need new lines. That was the overwhelming sentiment from the community when we met with them. We have an application into the state for a downtown revitalization grant. We applied last year. We narrowly got beat out. We think our odds are pretty good this year to get those funds. And between this $1 million for our water project and the DRI, we really see a lot of the two things complementing between the water and the DRI to really make the village pop and be ready for all the growth that's coming. The comprehensive plan that the town of Brutus and the village of Eastport have together totally supports the upgrades of all of these structures within the village. And as a result, the town and the village are in lockstep in promoting this process. We are a certified pro-housing community. We have been for several years now. I know that there are some communities within the county that, are leery about going down that path, but the village is not. We've started that process several years ago, and we've been adding properties at housing every year. I think the minimum is like 2% or something like that.
3%.
3%, and we're hitting that already, and we want to continue that progress and move ourselves forward because we know we're a great place to go. Some of the projects that we have that are coming because of this water project, we have several properties within the village, and these are just some. There's quite a few more. We have proposed mixed-use retail and housing on Erie Drive, which you all know is 31 in the village. We have the old Erie restaurant that was recently purchased. We have the new owner is looking to, again, mixed-use building, commercial downstairs, residential upstairs. On East Brutus Street, which you also know is 31B, we have a building, commercial downstairs, apartments upstairs. But we have not just looking for public monies, we have lots of private investment already happening. And in order to support this private investment, we need help with our water project. Where are we currently? We have plans and budget have already been developed by our engineers, Barton and Lewis. We are moving along very rapidly at getting to the point where we can put shovels on the ground. This project is definitely shovel ready. We're looking to get started. We're going out to bid this spring. And so where do we run short is the fact that when we started the project, it was actually prior to COVID, and it was a $16 million project. COVID, as you all know, really threw a monkey wrench into the expenses of things, and we went from 16 million to 22 million, almost right off the bat for a water project. With that, since then, things have only gone up more because we've been struggling to try to get across the finish line with those numbers. And so now we're sitting at 27. So the longer it takes for us to get these shovels in the ground, the more expensive the project is. Just because of the cost of the materials, as everybody knows. Where are we? This million moves us past the baseline. So right now we have secured funding for the baseline of our project. We have $23 million. We can put the shovel in the ground. We can do the base project. Where are we falling short? No, we're falling short by $4 million. So we're looking for the county to help us out to push that number forward a little bit further to get some of the additives that we know will benefit the community. Looping that we're trying to do, they have to make some difficult decisions on what we can and can't do. So some of the things part of the main project that could be kind of trimmed back have been trimmed back to get it to where the funding that we have. But if the county can provide us with this million, we can do more and help more of our project get done. Are we going to stop there? No, we're still, shaking the trees to try to find more funding to get us all the way to that. But, our project will probably end up being phased. We have already been awarded $5 million from WIA. We have a $14 million loan from Rural Development. We have a $2 million grant from Rural Development, and we just recently were awarded $2 million from CDBG, Community Development Block Grants. So we have gotten to the 23 million. Where does the CGIP get us? Well, it's just even further, and so we're hopeful that with the county support, that we can get to all the way to that $27 million number, so we can get the full project done, so that we can fully realize all the potential that our water system really needs for the village.
No, I would just say we're definitely open for any questions that folks might have. Glad to go more in depth on any specifics.
What's your, what stands today? What's your projected?
Right around $1,000.
Well, I think that number seems fine. I believe the current EDU, if I'm remembering it correctly, is around, I should have had that number written down. So I think it's like 600 something.
609. That's
I think 609 is where we stand right now. Every dollar that we can get whether it's congressional funding, CGIP helps us to, knock down that rural development loan. The loan is obviously desperately important, but anything we can get helps our community lower that number. Where would we love to be? We'd love to be, 400, 450 per EDU, so that it makes it more manageable. We are a small community. We have a lot of folks on fixed income. And so that any way we can reduce that loan from rural development will make a huge impact for our community members.
Each of my team.
Everything in this project is within the village.
Yes.
And is there any, I know you talked about cooperating with the town also. Is there anything like planned in the future that it would expand outside of the village?
So where do we want to go forward? I've been talking with the developer for the past several years, who is ready to make things happen to definitely grow the village. We have a large parcel of land adjacent to the village. I think it's somewhere 340 acres that this developer wants to annex in. And the reason they want to annex in is because we have water, we have sewer. The one big sticking point has been power. As all communities know, and the legislature I'm sure knows, we're definitely short on power. NICEAG just recently said they're going to build us a new substation, but until that substation gets built, they're kind of the developer's dragging their feet a little bit. But that, working with the town, we're definitely trying to make that move forward, because there's potential anywhere from 500 to 1,100 new units in the village.
I just want to be clear. You certainly talk about using this million towards the base project, which really is replacing the undersized and deteriorating mains and upgrading your infrastructure
Correct.
in the village.
Correct.
Where is the housing projection or component for new housing development? Where does that fit in?
So where's the new housing? All of our new housing is in the downtown core. So
I mean, you have developers waiting to,
Yeah, if I can I'll go
Yeah.
back to the slide here. Yeah, this is pulled from from the wrong direction. I apologize. I broke it now.
keep pointing. Okay.
Sorry. Let me just move it forward.
Damn it.
So this
Yeah.
is just a subsection of folks that are skip past it again.
There you go.
This is just a selection of folks that have said, yes, we want to invest, can't do it because this isn't feasible right now with the flows we have. So this is just a sub-selection from the downtown revitalization app. There's, I want to say 30 plus folks that have signed up though. So even if some fall off, say they don't want to do it, which we've seen, there's going to be folks to backfill that will absolutely want to invest if they can. It's just right now with the infrastructure available, it's not feasible at that level.
Right now, we're actually at about 39 units that developers have already said, we can add 39 units to the village. They're going to be for, young professionals, small families. They're going to be for, people that want to be in their community, but I don't know if this is an issue everywhere, but a lot of people want to live in our village. We have a great school system. And so they want to be there, but they just can't get a house.
and more housing than just the second floor of places,
Yep.
actual single family units, those kind of things.
Yep.
Anyone else?
I had a question. Can you refresh us on the certified pro housing community, some of the benefits of that?
So,
Just pull that back up
Yeah.
real quick, sorry.
No
So
worries.
one thing I would just call out that I think is a great part of being a member of that group is to get the option to apply for TAG grants. So that's the technical assistance grants. It's 250,000 for support basically to make your village or town or municipality a place where more folks can live. And I'll let you speak more on the
So-
other benefits, Chad.
So because to be a pro housing community, you have to commit to having more housing, which we have done, and we have every year we say, yes, we're still pro housing. What does that do for us? that allows us to apply for the DRI. If you're not pro-housing, you can't apply for the DRI, you can't apply for the DR4. The state has released a lot of funds to be pro-housing. And so as a result, because we say, yes, we want growth in our community, we want more people to be able to live in our community. The state recognizes that and says, okay, if you're willing to move forward and you're willing to develop, then we will let you apply for these other opportunities. And that's my interpretation of how pro housing is benefiting us.
I think that's a pretty good sample.
Anyone else? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
There is a.
Yeah, we're moving on.
No, but they, I don't know if you skipped them.
No, we haven't gotten the public.
Okay, all right.
So.
I just want to make sure. I thought this was not a hallway.
We have a public hearing, 315-251, 315-294-8051, you should speak in public hearing. We're going to establish surcharge to sales for admissions to Emerson Park Playhouse Theater. Do I have anyone here to speak on the public hearing? Am I here to, no one to speak on the public hearing? This time I'm going to close the public hearing. And at this time, I'm going to call privilege of the floor, Legislator Daley, that's in here tonight for privilege of the floor.
No.
Oh, they need to show up. Okay, so Mr. Waldrop, privilege of the floor. Yes, come on up, sir, state your name and 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Westmiller. I'm the new president of the Prison City Ramblers. We are the car club that does the Father's Day car show at Emerson Park every year. I'm here to ask for help, I guess. We have been putting this show on. This will be the 33rd year. I'm the 3rd president of the club. And it has gotten to the point where the expenses to put the show on have almost exceeded the amount of money we make to do it. Now, this car show hasn't been, I'd say, advertised correctly over the years. It is a fundraiser for food pantries, local food pantries, all of them in Cayuga County. We do 5 of them, 5 food pantries in the soup kitchen downtown. We donate our money to it. We donate our time. It's gotten to the point we used to have a corporate sponsor that would cover our costs for the fee to the park. It was $1,200 that was affordable. Now with times changing, our corporate sponsors aren't giving as much, but the rates of everything are going up. It's gotten that us as a club, last year we put the show on, we didn't even make $1,200. You got 60 people that donated their Father's Day, and we were able to give $200 to a charity. That's not very good to me. I'm trying to bring this in as a way is we need to grow this to help the community. It's not just us. The park makes a lot of money off of our parking. We don't make very much at all off of it. I'm trying to come up with different ways to consolidate the costs, I guess, to try to help and to promote this in a better way. Like you'll notice this year it's going to be called the Community Fundraiser Father's Day Car Show rather than the Father's Day Car Show, because it is a fundraiser. We have changed different items on it to try to cut costs here and there. And what I guess I'm asking is maybe you guys as the legislation could come up with a way to help waive the fee for our park, because I was told from the park that they can't do it. You guys have to do it. And I understand that if you do it for us, you have to do it for everybody. Sorry, but you have to do it for everybody. Maybe we need to look at this as a perspective that maybe people that are doing donations and charitable goods can get help in other ways rather than being charged for everything we do, because we are bled. I mean, last year we brought in like $9,700 and it cost $8,400 and something to put the show on. That's, to me, that's not a successful show. I mean, it was successful. We had 750 people bring their cars up. We had 8,000 spectators, but the cause made nothing. And that's not very good. So I'm trying to reach out and be like, you know, maybe you guys have a better idea on what we need to do. This is something that if it keeps going the way it is, It almost died this year. If I didn't step up, the Father's Day car show was gone. How much longer can we get people to keep donating their Father's Day for nothing? They're not really getting anything out of us. So maybe on your end, you're making good money on the parking. Maybe we don't get killed to do it. Every year the rate goes up for us to rent the park. Every year we make less money. Every year it's already hard for us to get volunteers. When does it get to the point that this ends? The pantries get nothing, the county gets nothing, and that's not gonna help anybody. Everybody has to eat. I do this to feed people. Takes a lot of my time, and I'm just asking for help. That's all. I don't know. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, at this time, any members of the board, should cover the floor. Minutes to approve January 27th, 2026, and the first and second. Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I wasn't very accurate either.
Indicate these announcements on how I, Dr. Durant, not realistically, meaning any committee reports or any charge to be forced.
You.
And I'll begin with the chair report. The lease for the UND has been executed. We had a meeting this past week, landlord, the county clerk and operations team are scheduled for a summer opening and one more detail for the time. Just a quick update, we continue to move forward with the 911 backup, with the move to AFB. We've had a few delays in this project, vendor delays. We are on track for an early summer completion. Amanda, our clerk of legislature, Amanda Morgan, and IT continue working on board database. We're also working at IT to complete our board information on the county website. And we'll have a board application online to attract new talent for agency boards across the county. And this evening, we will have a public hearing, and we just had the public hearing regarding setting a ticket fee for the Red and Marigold Playhouse. As Ian alluded to earlier, we have received a proposal from the Red and are in the process of reviewing and responding. It is for this reason that I'll be asking the legislature to table the two resolutions associated with Red this evening in order for us to respond and have the opportunity to reach an agreement. That said, Ways and Means.
Ways and Means had two resolutions this month. First one is to renew the service agreement that ends the end of this year for the financing, for the financial software coming from the IT budget. That this is our Munis software system that we're asking for a one-year renewal. Ways and Means 2 is adopting a resolution to extend the contract with Auctions International to provide real property auction services.
I motion bundle 1 and 2.
Okay, bundle 1 and 2, we have a second. Any comments or 1 and 2? With no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Health and Human Services.
Thank you. We had 15 resolutions, 2 were pulled, so that leaves 13 to go through, that went through the committees. HH1 is authorizing the chair to enter into contracts with professional engineers for assistance with septic systems and public water system approvals.
Do I have a motion for HH1?
I'll move that.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
HH2 is pulled. HH3 is authorizing the legislature to create the public health director to fill a director of environmental health, director of environmental health position. That's through the health program.
Motion is second.
I'll make the motion. I'll first.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
HH4 is authorizing the public health director to carry out a budget modification in the WIC program. It's budget neutral, it's moving funds in the budget.
Bundle 4 and 5 or something?
Yeah, can bundle HH4 and HH5. Again, the HH4 is for the budget. HH5 is to accept funds of $23,084 from New York State to participate in Article 6 State Aid Year 13 Performance Incentive Program activities completed by the Health Department.
I'll move 4 and 5.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
The next three for Department of Social Services, I'd like to bundle HH6, HH7, and HH8. HH6 is to enter into agreement with Q-Track that provides their virtual queuing and appointment solution. HH7 is to renew the contract with Community Action Programs for the provision of non-residential domestic violence services. And HH8 is to enter into a contract with Children's Home of Wyoming Conference for the recruitment, training, and retention of foster parents.
We're up 6, 7, and 8 is the bundle. First,
I'll move it.
second,
I'll second.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
The next 6 are with Q-Kind Mental Health. I'd like to bundle HH9, HH12, and HH13. So 9 is to fill one-time coordinator of substance use initiatives. HH12 is to fill one budgeted staff social worker, and HH13 is to fill a second budgeted staff social worker. Those are backfills. So that's 9, 12, and 13.
I get a first and second on 9, 12, and 13.
I'll make the first 9, 12, and 13.
Mr. Winslow has the second. Discussion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, these are just, excuse me, just to clarify, these are just creating these as help positions.
Correct.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you. And then the last 3 I'd like to bundle are HH10, HH11, and HH15. So 10 is to accept funding for the enhancement of the assisted outpatient treatment program. 11 is to enter into a contract with Cayuga Counseling Services for the reimbursement of the costs for the screening through the FLIPA funding. And 15 is to accept regional OMH state aid and enter into various regional OMH state aid funded contracts on behalf of the Central New York Director Planning Group.
We get a first and second, 10, 11, and 15.
I'll move 10, 11, 15. I'll second.
Any discussion on 10, 11, and 15? No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
14 was pulled, so that
14.
14.
yeah.
Chairman, excuse me, can I ask a clarifying question about HH2?
Yes.
Putting on the floor. Can I just get a little background on this for now? Is this to create it as a health position or is this a funding?
The one that was pulled?
Yeah, HH2.
Yeah, so my understanding is we're gonna try first to see, hiring the director position, if depending on what that looks like, then we'll go back if we still need the engineer.
The conversation, I believe, is that they're looking to replace Ani. And Ani had a PE. So they're gonna try to see if they can find somebody potentially to fill Ani's shoes with PE. If they can't, then potentially go outside and hire someone separately to do the PE work. That's kind of why they pulled this at this time. Am I missing anything, Kathleen? So that's kind of, I mean, elementary, but that's.
And I think having an appropriate rate is.
Right.
That's why you pulled it from, yes.
Finding a rate is appropriate as well.
So it
there's
has,
a background.
this hasn't stifled the search though.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Government?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have 5 resolutions, one pulled. I'd like to bundle GO1 and GO2. One is to fill a position in the county clerk's office and one's a cashier, one full-time position in the motor vehicle.
I'd like them separated, but I will, I'd like them separated. Yep.
All right, GO1, authorize and fill the deputy clerk's position 3 in the county clerk's office.
And do the first and second for GO1.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion on GO1? Without a discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Go ahead.
GO2, authorizing to fill one full-time senior motor vehicle cashier.
I'll move that.
Second.
Second, discussion on GO2. All in favor of GO2?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, GO3 was approved. GO4, 5 are entered into contracts. I'd like to bundle them.
I'll move GO4 and GO5.
I'll second.
Discussion on GO4, 5. No discussion, all in favor of 4 and 5?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Shea, Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to bundle PPW 1 and PPW 2. The first one is authorization to extend bids to the Highway Department. Second one is authorization to the Highway Superintendent to fill motor vehicle operator medium position in the County Highway Department.
Move it. Move it.
Second.
The second, discussion. Discussion, all in favor of 1 and 2?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Chairman, PPW 3, authorizing the chair of the legislature to execute an agreement between the Hobart, William Smith Colleges and Cayuga County for implementation of a Finger Lakes Institute fiscal year 2026 Owasco watershed monitoring program.
Move it.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last but not least, PPW 4, authorizing the chair of the legislature to execute an agreement between Onondaga Community College Small Business Development Center and Cayuga County for small business technical assistance and training services to the Cayuga County Small Business Community from 1/1/2026 to 12/31/2026.
I'll move that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Shea, would you mind bringing the motion to bring PPW 13 on the table? Introduced meeting last month.
I would love to, Mr. Chairman.
Mhm.
Can I have a motion to take PPW 13 back on the table?
I'll move that.
Second.
All right.
Can we get the reading of that?
Yes, I had it from, now the main change in PPW 13 is Sterling Nature Center from $400 for a rental down to $250.
Or 200, isn't it, Jen?
No, it's $250. It was $500 last year. They read down to $400, so I need it. That was half of last year's rate. We can move it to 200.
No, I thought it was 4 to 2, but I could be wrong. And the
It
reason,
was 400 originally. It was 500 down to 4 because last year was too high, and then I requested the half of last year.
then
But that would be the 250, but we can go to 200. I haven't actually do a friendly amendment or amendment to 200 discussion.
I would make that amendment since it hasn't been rented once. Let's
I'll second the amendment.
see. Sterling Nature. See, in the rent rate of this resolution, it's 400 and then it goes to 200.
Yeah, I think she's right.
I've got PPW 13 in front of me. It says 1650, 550, 400, 300, 450, 250 for Sterling, 250 for boat launch, 150 for agri-food shelter, 75 for seawall shelter.
That's fine by me. It just says the Sterling Nature Center, 400, and then deposit is 200 in the thing I'm looking at.
In our packet.
Right, like the deposit to like.
No, but the overall cost was 400,
Right.
Correct.
not 5. That's where I'm just,
No, correct. Last year's rate was.
okay, all right, that's what I was confused with.
400.
And then when I made the suggestion, I was thinking half of last year's rate, which would be the 250, but we can go to half and move to 200 if that's the motion. I made a second, so we do have an amendment on the table. Any discussion on the amendment on the table? I'll move the rate to 200. Without any further discussion, all in favor of the motion to amend to 200? I'm an aye.
Aye.
So
Aye.
any opposed to that? If not, now we have the PW 13, the first and second for PW 13 as amended.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor of PW 13 as setting the rate to 200. Right, and there was still deposit.
What is the number for the deposit at? keep it?
Two. Well, we already voted on, just keep it three.
Yeah.
So, without any further discussion,
Okay.
all in favor?
Further discussion, can you just run through the rental rates?
Yep, no
I
worries.
still have it in front of me.
That's okay. So here's the full rate list. In Dugal Island, including 2 shelters, $1,650, deposit $500. Sterling Nature Center tent site stays $1,000, deposit $500. Emerson Park Island Shelter, $550, deposit $200. Sterling Nature Center Shelter was $400. We're moving that down to $200. And then the deposit stays at $200. Seawall Shelter, $300, deposit $200. Conservation Shelter, $450, deposit $200. Sterling Nature Center Conference Room, $250, deposit $0. Boat Launch Shelter, $250, deposit $200. Ag Museum Shelter, $150. Is that right? $150, deposit $200. They must get $50 back. Seawall Shelter Row, $75, deposit $0. Seasonal boat slips, $1,400, $200. Seasonal kayak rack, $100. That's the kind of rates.
So it looks like there's
Oh, there you go. You got it.
typo,
Yeah.
right?
They might get money back. I didn't set the rates. That was the parks. The only change I asked for was the Sterling Nature Center shelter fee. We can make an amendment there if we'd like as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably good.
Attorney, friendly amendment if it's wrong.
Works with me. but-
Okay.
The group.
Yes.
And it works for the group. So we're changing the Ag Museum shelter from rental rate to $150, deposit $150. Any other comments?
Isn't the deposit typically what we're doing is generally half? Right, so you can do 75 as a deposit.
Yeah, I know objection to it. Yeah. 75, and we can go to the Sterling Nature Center, we have them to 200.
Yeah.
So you could do
100 deposit because it's a 200 total. Yeah.
So 200 for rental rate, 100 for deposit, Ag Museum, 150 for rental rate, 75 for deposit.
Anybody disagree with the friendly amendments?
Anybody prefer another friendly one? All right.
Thank you.
Is everybody clear on what we're voting? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, very good.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Crystal clear on that.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. JPS has 10 resolutions I passed through committee and Ways and Means. I would like to bundle 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Basically all either extending or renewing contracts. If somebody would like one separated.
Second the bundle?
Any discussion on the bundle? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Go ahead.
AP4, authorizing fill 1 probation officer, 2 titled in the King County Probation Department.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Discussion on JP4. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
JP5 is authorizing the chair of the King County Legislature and the King County Sheriff to sign an amended contract with the Weeksport School Central School District, providing a full-time special patrol officer employed by the Sheriff's Office to the Weeksport Central School District to provide school resource officer services.
I'll move that.
Second,
Second.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, last but not least, JP8, authorizing the sheriff to fill 1 vacant detective position in the Cayuga County Sheriff's Office and any backfill.
Was 8 in the bundle?
No.
Oh.
I'll second.
Discussion, JP8. Without discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before we move forward tonight, I was gonna do this during my chair brief. Thought you guys was gonna do this. But I do want to read this proclamation in honor and recognition of the 100th anniversary of Black History Month for the board. And then Mr. Muldoon has to say a few words. Whereas in 1926, The recognition of Black history and culture was formally established to acknowledge the ability to celebrate the significant contribution of African Americans to the history of culture and progress of the United States. This recognition, now observed nationally as Black History Month each February, serves an important reminder of the enduring impact of the African American leaders, innovators, activists, and community members whose achievements have shaped our nation and continue to inspire future generations. National Association for the Advocacy of Colored People, the NAACP, was founded in 1909 and has played a critical role in advancing civil rights, promoting equality, advocating for justice, recognition, community engagement, and civic leadership. The Cayuga County NAACP has steadfast served the residents of Cayuga County by promoting equality, fostering inclusion, and working to ensure equal rights and opportunities for all individuals within our community. And the 100th anniversary of the recognition of Black history and culture provides a meaningful opportunity to reflect on the struggles, achievements, and lasting legacy of African Americans while reaffirming our collective commitment to justice, equality, and mutual respect. Now, therefore, we proclaim that the Cayuga County Legislature does hereby recognize and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the recognition of Black history and culture, and honors Cayuga County NAACP for its continued dedication to civil rights, community empowerment, and the betterment of Cayuga County. And be it further proclaimed that the County Legislature encourages all residents to observe Black History Month by learning about, honoring, and celebrating the rich history, culture, and contributions of African Americans.
Thank you. On behalf of the residents in Cayuga County, I happily accept this proclamation. Thank you, Chair, for recognizing this day, this month. But I want to say that Black history is about not just about the struggles and some of the overcoming, but also about excellence and recognizing our contribute to society and our contribute to America. So this award is not about me. I'm not gonna go on a long speech, but I just want to tell you that in this time and age to recognize this month and this proclamation means a lot for the Cayuga County residents.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, yes. Sure.
Better get copies. Okay, we
Are
are.
we all gonna meet? Go to the library. Or we can go to the horse room.
What is? Where's that?
Grace, can you hear me? Grace.
All right. Here. Bye.
I need this.
Like to make a motion to call the meeting back.
Move it. Second.
What's nice?
All in favor?
Aye.
Want to move on to, like that, from the board agencies.
Move it.
First and second,
Second.
discussion.
I have a discussion point. Can you repeat? I heard you say something during your chair report about something about boards and agencies.
Yeah, so what's, Amanda's been working with IT and Town Bond to work on our board database. And also in the process of being with IT to place our boards on our county website, along with the information, and have put applications on our website as we try to attract new talent and start working towards attracting new members of those. That's what she's working on.
So that is really great, and I do hope that now that we have sort of a clearinghouse to look, that we can then assess. We have a couple names here on the IDA that live on the same road from the same town. Again, you're a really big county. I don't know why we are appointing people that live down the road from one another. So I want to decrease redundancy, increase diversity and representation of all of our boards and agencies. I will be voting against these appointments as I have been until we can really do some real meaningful change to how we're doing this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Ledge 2, authorizing the chair of the County Legislature to execute a memorandum of understanding with the town of Owasco, 775. And go first and a second, please.
I'll move Ledge 2.
A second.
Any discussion on Ledge 2? No discussion, all in favor of Ledge 2?
Aye.
Opposed? Ledge 3, authorizing a solicitation for proposals for county-wide economic development strategy. Can I get a first and a second?
I'll move that.
I'll second.
This one is not to approve the spending of any funds, it's to allow us to RFP, present a scoring system, and then report back to this body to make a determination to move forward. I'd like to make a friendly amendment, if I may, just to include the chair of the Planning and Public Works Committee to be a part of that committee, that he was left off of that inadvertently, and if anybody, does anybody object to a friendly amendment?
To add him to the scoring committee, is that the?
I'll support it.
If no one objects, I'll do it as a friendly amendment. All in favor of Ledge 3?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Appointment authorizing the commission of elections, Ledge 4. Can I get first and a second? Any comments? So the Board of Election Commissioners come into recommendation of the party due to the appearance of a conflict of interest. I will be abstaining from this evening. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ledge 5, supporting Congresswoman Tenney, securing federal funds for construction and memorial projects, New York State Veterans Cemetery. Can I get a motion?
Move it, Mark.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
This was sent to me by the cemetery, Veterans Cemetery on Foundation. I forwarded the information to members of this board who all responded back, well, not all of you, but most of you responded back to me. And all of you who did respond back were supportive of this measure. So I brought it forward tonight to support funding for the New York State Veterans Cemetery in Finger Lakes region. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And then Ledge 6 and 7, I'd like to bundle. I'm asking to table Ledge 6 and 7 as previously discussed. To Can I get a first and second to table?
Discussion?
Second.
Table, got a second. Any discussion on the table? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed to the table? Thank you. Ledge 8, amending and restating county resolution as amended by resolution 43/25, and then the sewer distribution to county law article 5A, subject to mandatory referendum and set the date for a referendum. Can I get a first and second?
I'll move it.
I'll second this, and it also calls for 2 public meetings. Is that
Yes,
in there as well?
those-
And sets the date for the actual vote?
That's correct. That's the date of June 23rd. The dates for the public hearings have been suggested by the Cayuga County Water and Sewer Authority, and those are going to be held at the high school, or at the school.
This is the last time.
This is the last time we'll have to vote.
And
We'll say that.
there is good news about funding. Is that true, Carl? For this project?
Yeah, well, we have the $16.5 million grant, and we still have a loan, a zero interest loan for up to $25 million. And we're still pursuing other grants. We haven't given up on other processes to follow through.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, without any further, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And funding. It's like 9.
Yes.
Authorizing the submittal of grant application to the county infrastructure grant program. You guys all have a copy in front of you. Basically, it outlines the grant, part of state development, county infrastructure grant. As we saw presentation this evening. I'd like someone to make a motion for first and second, and for the town, we'd like to know if other projects they'd like to do as we're gonna project. Mr. Winslow, would you like to make a motion, what project are you suggesting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I'd like to make a motion for Ledge 9 and the awarding of the grant to the village of Weedsport.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second for the village of Weedsport. Do I have any comment or discussion regarding this? Okay, we're gonna take a roll call vote, because I know not everybody's gonna be in agreement.
Give me 1 second.
Ben Vitale,
I'm going to abstain because I don't think we got enough information tonight and enough discussion to make this decision right now.
Tom Winslow,
Yes.
Robert Shea,
Yes.
Aileen McNabb Coleman,
No.
Hans Petcher,
Yes.
Mark Strong,
Yes.
Heidi Nightingale's excused, Elaine Daly,
No.
Amy Sargent,
Yes.
Brian Muldrow,
Yes.
Jonathan Anna.
No.
Pass.
Okay. All right, with that stated, I'd like to take the first and second to enter into executive session in regard to the proposed acquisition sale of real property. That's, at this time, there will not be any further business after the executive session. We're gonna thank you guys all for coming out. I need a first and second.
No.
I'll make a motion.
We got it. I was starving.
Anybody for a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is it saying that I?
He knows.
Yeah.
Video.